Okay, so we had a lot of fun. So after that, I created a body of work. So my intention was to have these interviews with these three art. How come they don't?
Just in slides.
Yeah, and then I have to do this every time?
No.
Okay. So I made plates, linoleum cut plates, to represent each of the artists. So Oya, we have Sandy, Oya, Risha's work. We have Paul Dio's work, which is more representative in storytelling. And then we have Sean Peters' work, which is also a plate, you'll see. And then I created prints that combine the three of them so that I can investigate this idea of how other artists influence my work. How I can actually take pieces of them, I can analyze them, and then create this body of work that incorporates a story that tells this story. And so that's what this experiment was. So I did the place, that's for Sean Peters. That's a photograph that he took of himself in the shower, which to me is the most intimate photograph that he has, which talks about his detail-oriented nature and things. And then I created prints from them. So I inked the plates. I made individual prints from each plate. Then I combined the three so that my whole experience can tell a big story of the three of them. There's three prints.
So which one is each? Which artist?
You have the plate for, oh good, I get to be in the, look, I have the plate for Risha, who was the one that did the makeup, for Oya. Then Paul Dio, who tells that storytelling element. And also, this is also, I went to New York because I have a friend, Hagadenish Tesfa, who had twins. So I went to actually do acupuncture on her through her pregnancy, which is another combination of my work as a healer and my work as an artist. And so that coincided, and then there was Sean Peters, which is foundation. Okay. All right, that's the last print. Okay, so we're back to symbols. Symbols and representation. So now I'm really on a roll. I am using symbols, not only that I'm collecting from the world, but I'm collecting from other artists. I'm collecting from religion. I'm collecting from dreams. I'm collecting from all of my life experiences. So this is another print from Myth in Translation from the Black Madonna series. So I go back into my drawings and I find this old drawing before I even studied acupuncture, which is an image that I use over and over again, this idea that the heart is in pain, or it has something to do with the heart. I'm using the heart in some way to express the emotional relationship I have to love or to whatever. And this was so striking to me because I was really in this place again using symbols because I was studying the heart in Chinese medicine. They were talking about how the heart deals with excessive joy or the loss of joy. And that's why when they say you have a broken heart, you have a broken heart because your heart is ailing, really ailing. The organ itself controls this emotion. So I decided to start using my information, my acupuncture information, in my paintings to express these ideas of emotions. The organs have emotions, and we can use that in the characters. So that writing behind that was someone found her waiting, hearts exposed. We know not the dangers of the bite until the poison's released. We know not the dangers of our mind until the heart is full. Empty her again so that her wings may carry her. Fill up herself that knows no fear. There can be no whole without this earthly pain. Why must we search alone? So I started a canvas. You see the drawing is over there on the left-hand side. So I started sketching it out, bringing in the heart, bringing in the character, starting to build this idea of the skeletal structure. Exposed is just that exposed, again, it feels like it's an exposed emotional part of yourself. If you rip the skin off, and you see the inside of the body, that means that person is really honest and exposed. It feels that way. Some of her exposed organs, and then that's the final painting. That's what came out of it. It's called See Me. That was my first experiment with using Chinese medicine in my work. Then I started to make prints, which are remnants that came out of the painting. So when you're done with the painting, there's all this residue emotional stuff. Because you're doing the painting and you're trying to control it, you're trying to come up, trying to force the concept onto the canvas, you're trying to have an idea about, you know, the balance of the color and the space. So I had all this excess information and color on my palette. So I started to make prints. So I inked some plates and I used the same color palette that I was using for the painting and the same conceptual idea. And I made these 4 prints that are called See Me Remnants. These came out of the painting. This is a prayer. This is just random. It's a prayer that I needed through Goddard. I needed just walking the world. Prayer is, energy of all that is and has ever been, give me the strength to have patience. Let me be flexible enough to not overwhelm the humans that I'm on the planet to serve with the gift of truth and beauty. Assist me with my intolerance and allow me to see the usefulness of lower frequencies. I want to express my gift as love, not destruction. I am prepared in skill and discipline to do the work I am intended to do against all the many layers of opposition. Though close to my bosom it may lay, I remain open and empowered by my own energy and the collective energy of all other light bearers that share this responsibility with me.
So when you say the prayer is random, is it that you just found it, it just found you?
The prayer I created. It's random in terms of this portfolio. It's a part of it because it's where my headspace was.
Okay.
So in between all this work, I'm throwing in these words and these ideas and things that I come up with. This was a prayer that I came up with just to get through one particular day.
Okay. Well, that's not quite random.
That's not random. That's not random. Okay, my dream state. So same advisor, Lai Wan, who has us writing our dreams out in all of our packets. Which dreams are really important to me because dreams, they're prophetic. Like I have dreams that tell me about the future or tell me about who's around me, or I have prophetic dreams and I trust those dreams. So this was during a time where the dreams had stopped coming. For whatever reason. I was in a life situation where all my energy was being taken up and I didn't have any energy for dreams. So I couldn't remember my dreams. So I had to force them. And then I remembered the tortoise, this slow idea of like, I don't have to force it because I'm impatient. So I forced it. I want it to be fast and immediate or else I'll just abandon it. So I had to really come to a different idea. So I made this plate of the tortoise and I said, I want to give this tortoise energy some respect so that I can use it in my life. I need patience. So throughout my dreams and throughout my writing of the dreams, I was inking this plate and making these prints of the tortoise so that I can remember that patience is a part of my life lesson that I need. So he came out. This is all during a time where I'm living in San Diego in a place called Pine Valley, which is 4,000 feet above sea level in the mountains. There's nobody there. It's the place when I really need to go and create, I isolate myself. I go find the country. I go so I can make a large body of work. So I was there for my graduate work so that I can just focus on the work. There were no distractions at all. Unfortunately, in front of my house, there was a vortex of energy. It was in between right there, Sleepy Hollow and Valley View, which seems like oppositional concepts alone, right? Sleepy Hollow and Valley View. These two oppositions, but right there, people have had accidents. There's something about this corner right there at the crossroad that needed to be handled. And I lived right there on the corner. Unfortunately, my dog Zuzu, Azul, was hit by a drunk driver on that corner, and I knew it the day that, because he left the gate, he jumped over, and I knew that he wasn't going to come back, because I just felt that energy pulling, that vortex, and that's exactly where he was hit, and he was killed, and he laid right there in the center of the road. And I ran out, and I laid with him for hours until somebody came with the car, and we can take him away. But he died. He died at 1:11 that morning. But so the next day, I went out and I did a ritual for him so I can close the vortex, because I didn't want anybody else to get pulled or trapped into it. And I knew it because I had already talked about this being a vortex, and then when he was sucked in and killed, it confirmed it. So I had to close it down. I had to do a ritual, which could have got me arrested because I painted in the middle of the street. And that's illegal in America for some reason.
Hold on.